Yo, what's going on, world? My name is Vince, and I just wanted to try and talk to you today about how important it can be to remember and be there for the women and the mothers in our lives, or the women in our lives, whether it's our daughters, our wives, our mothers, our sisters, our grandmothers, whatever it might be, how important it can be to remember and to be there at times if we can. And even if we're not there, I believe in God. So even if we're not there, we can also remember to pray for the women and be there for the women in our lives. So that's why I chose the song by the artist Pink, Circle Game, because it talks about some of these things. And even if someone's listening to this and you don't have children and you're just facing tasks as a female, and I speak with respect to females because I know that females are strong, as I believe we all are and can be in this world. But I just believe that sometimes some of us, whether even man or woman, we might have some questions. We might have some fears that we face in life, and it helps for someone to be there for us sometimes, or it helps to hear from God and have strength from God sometimes. I do believe in God. I'm a Christian, and if you don't share in my faith, I hope you're not put off by that and maybe give these words a chance anyway. So I just wanted to say that I believe it is good for us to be there for the women and the mothers in our lives, or just even to have these words talked about. In the song, Pink talks about growing into motherhood and having the having the question still, having some of those thoughts of maybe wanting to hear from her dad and having some strength to be there for her to help her go through it. So I'm just going to talk about how that can be for any of us in life, and just take that to the world today, to the real world today, on how so many people in life, we have so many women raising kids, and we have women in our lives that are, even if they don't have children, that are just facing the task of facing this world, how it is, and needing to succeed in whatever it is. Maybe it's a young child facing growing up in school and adolescence, and how crazy that can be as a young child and a teen and getting into high school. Maybe it's someone going into college. Maybe it's someone that that dropped out of school and is facing life and figuring out how to move on from where that person is at. No matter what it is, the women in our lives, no matter young or old, rich or poor, I just believe that we as men can be there for them, or even just people in the world, women in the world, women in the world can be there for each other, you know. So I just wanted to hopefully try and inspire people in that and talk about that a little bit. This world can be a crazy place sometimes. Sometimes we might feel like we have those questions, those doubts, those fears. We might wonder how we're going to make it through, but knowing that we need to make it through no matter what. And some people might struggle with some of those things at times. So hopefully something in here might inspire someone. And I also wanted to talk to men because it was just yesterday that I saw a video about from this artist, this same person, Pink, this singer Pink, and I saw in the video on how there was a hard time that she was going through, and it just inspired me seeing how she was singing a gospel song to her child to make it through that hard time, and that was just really inspiring for me to see that, to see a mother going through that hard time, but having the strength to sing that gospel song to her child to help her to make it through, and hearing her talk about how that helps her to make things through. So I also just wanted to inspire people, man or woman, on how we might be inspired by some things in life to help us through, and how as men we can remember to be there for the women in our lives. And we don't have to feel like it's unmanly or uncool, you know, to remember to be there to pray for the women in our lives, whether it's our sisters, our daughters, our mothers, whatever it might be. We don't have to feel, you know, we can know that it is manly to stand up, so to speak, spiritually, mentally. I mean, mentally and spiritually, to stand up, so to speak, to remember to be there for the women in our lives, and that it's okay to do that, and that it can mean more than we could ever even think or imagine right now. Sometimes it might mean more than we know to be there for the women in our lives, not disrespecting the women in our lives, because I know that women are strong, but that we all may need this sometimes. So I just thought of a couple songs that I wanted to talk about and kind of share, kind of add to what I already talked about, because how they might mean something to somebody out there. Maybe there's women in our lives that might be struggling a little bit. Maybe there's young mothers wondering some of the same things that this song talks about, and wondering how they're going to make it through, but knowing that they need to be strong, feeling like they have to be strong and they have to face this, they have to do this task, and maybe just feeling like, oh wow, this is so much right now, maybe thinking thoughts like, how am I going to make it through? How am I going to make it through this week? Or how am I going to make it through to the next place in life? How am I going to keep my baby fed and keep my baby housed? And how am I going to be a good mother when I feel like I'm weak or something like that? And I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just saying that I have to believe that some people might feel like that in the world. So I wanted to talk about a song that talks about something like that. I've mentioned this woman before in other messages, and her name's Lauren Daigle, and she has this song, You Say. And so I just wanted to share this song and even share some of the words in this song, because I believe that it might help somebody out there, help somebody listen to this, younger or older. Whether you're raising children or not, maybe you're just struggling in life in some way. And I know that, it's good to be positive, but the reality of life is there may be some women or some mothers even struggling so hard with life. They may be struggling real hard in some ways. They might not know how they're going to make it through. So I just wanted to share some of this song with the world, and maybe somebody will hear something that means something to them, help inspire them, maybe help to strengthen them. So the song again is You Say by Lauren Daigle, and I'm just going to talk through some of the words. If you haven't heard this song, maybe you would be inspired by it, and maybe it might be something that might help or strengthen you. And the song starts out, and it says that the person is fighting voices in their mind, and the voices in their mind say that they would never be enough. And it says that every single lie tells this person that they would never measure up. And I believe that is something that people might deal with, but that it is a lie, that might keep them from believing on how strong or how much love that they really have from God, and even from people if they don't know it, maybe, even if they feel alone. Even if they feel totally alone, how much love that they would have from God in heaven as their Father. And then the next words say, am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. And then it goes on to the chorus of this song, and it says, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, you say I am yours, and I believe. I believe what you say of me, I believe. And then the next words go on to say, the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth. In you I find my identity. And then it goes to the chorus again and saying that this person knows now that God says that they're loved when they can't feel a thing. And God says that they're strong when the person feels weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, you say I am yours. And then the last few words say, taking all I have, and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. And the person believes in what God says about them. So if anyone out there If anyone out there may be struggling or may be hurting, I hope that you might be inspired by these words, that you might find strength from these words, that you might even know and even hear from God if you haven't heard from Him in a while. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Even if you haven't heard from Him in a while, or maybe if you might be hearing from Him for the first time, and if you don't believe in my faith, I hope you might be inspired by something positive. But even if you're hearing from God for the first time or haven't heard from Him in a while, I hope that you're inspired and strengthened even, that He does see your situation and He is there for you to hold you, to catch you, to lead you through. And if there's someone struggling even in the hardest situations, maybe it might be some addiction in trying to raise children. Maybe it's some addiction in trying to get back to your children, and maybe going through some things and needing or wanting to get back to your children. I pray for your strength, and I pray for God's help for your life, to help to keep you steady, to help to keep you strong, and to help you to see that horizon, to see that sunset, to see God's strength and God's light every day, so that you might know that He's there for you and that He hasn't forgotten you, that He will lead you through whatever it is, no matter how hard it seems or how dark it gets, that He will be there no matter what life takes you through. I pray that you know that. There's another song that is by Casting Crowns, and that song talks about, I'm trying to think, I just lost my train of thought. But the song talks about I Know You're There. It's a song by Casting Crowns. It's a mostly male group with a female singer. And the female singer happens to be singing this song. And some of the words are, I know you're there. I know you hear me. You're the air I breathe. You are the ground beneath me. And even if we feel like life might be so hard and it might be hard to breathe, it might be even hard to see what's going on, what's going to happen in life, that song I believe these words and God's strength and the faith that He can give us can help us to know that He's there for us. I know you're there. I know you hear me. You're the air I breathe. You are the ground beneath me. No matter how hard it gets or what life may take us through, that God is there for us, and that He will be there for us on this side, and He will also be there for us on the other side. And that prayerfully, hopefully, we can be here to encourage one another while we're here. And the time that we have, that we might remember to be here to encourage our sisters, our daughters, the mothers in our lives, men who have wives, grandmothers, whatever it may be, that we might be able to remember from time to time to inspire someone in our lives, to be there, to remember to let them know how much that we love them, that we care for them, that we're praying for them, whatever it might be, that we're able to do this as men for the women in our lives, and just whoever it is in each other's lives, as friends, sisters, whatever it may be. So hopefully something in there made sense to somebody and it wasn't too confusing. And I just hope that it might have helped someone somewhere. So that's pretty much the message that I wanted to talk about today. I hope that helps somebody somewhere. With that, I'm just going to say a quick prayer and end this message. So God, I just hope and believe that words are from you, words that come from you and are meant to inspire. With your word, God, come for you. And you say that your word will not return to you empty, God. So I pray for the strength and the faith in people's hearts and in people's minds, that people might be inspired by this, God, and not me or my message, but your words, your heart, your message, whatever people need to hear from you, God, even apart from what I've said, whatever somebody or people might need to hear from you to help them through, God, even if I've made it a little bit confusing. I believe that you can help with whatever somebody needs to hear out there, to strengthen them, to steady them, God, and to help them to breathe a little bit and to see a little bit and to know that somehow, some way, God, it's going to be okay one day. So I pray that you would do that for people on earth, God, man or woman, and the women in our lives, God. Amen. So that's the message today. It's pretty much what I wanted to say. So thanks for listening if you were able to give this a chance. I also have another YouTube channel where I'm going to talk about some things where, as a man in this world, some crazy things that have happened and that I need some prayer for. So if you're willing to listen, the YouTube channel is called Hindered 14 Years. And I'm just going to ask the world for some prayer and some hard things that I've been through and some hard things to talk about in life. So if you're willing to give that a chance. Other than that, thank you for listening. I hope you've been inspired. And no matter what, I hope you remember that it'll be okay somehow, some way. If you believe in the same faith I do and you believe in God, always remember his faith and remember his words. Amen. Peace.